And welcome to Kelowna Now Live. I'm Jason Mann, flying solo. Jim Check is, he's no longer in the air, but will be shortly reporting to us from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. He'll be set up there tonight and reporting tomorrow for us. Topping our news stories here this afternoon, though, the BC Conservation Officer Service says that there have been several cougar sightings in Kelowna lately. But that's normal for this time of year. Most of the recent sightings have been at night along the lakefront of Lower Mission and the Bellevue Creek and Mill Creek area. And here we have some video of a cougar taking a little prowl. Now, it looks like a deer was killed by a cougar next to a residence at Caskia Drive, which is near the mouth of the Bellevue Creek on January the 2nd. They are nocturnal and don't represent too much of a risk. But of course, if you do see them, you'll want to be able to report it. All right, moving on. The victim of this past weekend's helicopter crash at Glacier National Park has been identified as Rob Blair. In an online report at speedonwater.com, the website identified the 65-year-old as the owner and operator of the private aircraft that sent the first responders on a multi-day search in the backcountry. And he was the former owner of DCB Performance Boats in the United States, most recently selling his company this past summer. And sorry to hear that. All right. A dog was found emaciated in the Okanagan backcountry. Maybe you saw this story earlier. But he's now found a forever home after a very long recovery, nearly 5 months after being found in dire condition. This 9-year-old Labrador Retriever mix has finally found its home. His name is Fish, and on a body score was 1 out of 9 when he wandered out of the woods in a remote area of Enderby earlier this year. Fortunately, there was a good Samaritan there to get the emaciated dog, who was covered in sores, to the BC SPCA's Shuswap Animal Center. And since then, it's been a slow but positive recovery for Fish. And just before the holidays, he was adopted by a retired couple who promised to give Fish and a dog that has been through so much, endless amounts of love and attention that he deserves in his final years. So good news, happy ending story there for Fish. Third class action lawsuit filed over cantaloupe salmonella outbreak in Canada. A third proposed class action lawsuit has been now filed. The law firm Slater Vicio says it filed the lawsuit in BC against the Mexican company Malacaita, which grew the cantaloupes, and 2 U.S. food companies. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency first issued recall warnings, and we've been covering them here at Kelowna Now since November the 1st, which were later expanded to include both Malacaita and Rudy brand cantaloupes, as well as various types of pre-cut cantaloupes and fruit trays sold in stores. And a man is in jail and facing several criminal charges after a robbery at a downtown Vernon business over the weekend. North Okanagan RCMP officers were called to the scene at the 3400 block of 30th Avenue around 3 p.m. on Saturday. And according to the police, they were called after a physical confrontation between a man trying to leave the store with unpaid merchandise and a staff member who tried to stop him. At one point during the altercation, the suspect allegedly struck the employee with what was later confirmed to be an airsoft pistol, basically pistol whipped. The 37-year-old is being held in custody until he makes a scheduled court appearance on January the 10th. All right, and the weather is brought to you now by ATB Wealth. Realize your vision of wealth at atb.com/wealth Kelowna. We do have a snowfall warning issued for the Okanagan Valley, including Kelowna. Environmental Canada says expect about 10 centimeters of snow in Kelowna, Vernon, West Kelowna, Peachland, Osoyoos, and elsewhere in the region from this evening until Wednesday morning. And the snowfall will be heavy at times. Higher terrain could see more than 10 centimeters of snowfall. In fact, already a crash earlier today on the Coquihalla. Now that has been cleared and traffic is moving, but the Coquihalla and Highway 3, meanwhile, could see up to 50 centimeters of snowfall. as this Pacific frontal wave and a strong low pressure system has arrived. The snow is going to continue and then taper off Wednesday morning. And the same system is expected to affect the region's highways, including obviously the Okanagan Connector and eastward Eagle Pass and Rogers Pass, also set for significant snowfall. Well, that's our broadcast for this evening. We're going to be back again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with the information you need to get your day started. You can always find the latest news at kelownanow.com. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, which is delivered free of charge before 7 a.m. every day. And follow us on X, TikTok, and YouTube. Until then, have a great night. Be safe out there. We'll chat to you tomorrow.